Hello, this is a collaboration with Mixed Combat Radio with the Beauty of Boxing presented by Red Boxing Promotions. And we're here with three fantastic prospects out of Reseda that are going to be on the card. Main event, Jessy Martinez, Jerry Bradford, and Mathias Radcliffe. It should be a fun card. Definitely get tickets now at purplepass.com. But we have a lot of questions to get to because you guys are prospects. You know, most boxing fans obviously don't know you yet. And this is a great time to sort of tell the fans, tell the potential fans who you are, what you're about. And I'm excited for this. Melody, obviously joining me. Melody, how you doing?
Hi guys. Super glad that you guys could come. I do want to get to know each and every one of you, but I know we're limited for time today. But we're going to get as much as we can out of y'all. So, yeah, I'm super excited. Thanks for having us do this little collab.
Yes. First, let's get to Jessy. Main event fighter, obviously 15-0, 10 knockouts. Talk us through how you got into boxing, how this became a passion for you, and obviously one that you're talented in. You're an undefeated prospect in one of the golden divisions of the sport welter division. Talk us through how you got here, especially since I remember you had an Instagram post talking about how you weren't that star athlete coming up as a kid. You weren't the guy in high school that was the football star. This was something you sort of fell into, it sounded like. So walk us through that.
So yeah, I started off like growing up, I would watch my brother compete in the amateurs in boxing. He was also pursuing a boxing career. So I was always around like the fight scene, the boxing scene. My family would go watch his fights every weekend. Whenever he fought, we'd just be at the local gym supporting him. But at that time, my passion was soccer. So I was pursuing a soccer career. And I moved to Mexico at the age of like 12, 13 to pursue a soccer career. And that ended up not happening. Like, I made it to a professional team, but I wasn't able to continue because of lack of transportation. So then I decided to move back over here with my father. And growing up, like going to school was always hard for me. I was always like bullied, picked on, and like ever since like elementary school. So
for being too handsome? Or what? I don't understand. Why were they bullying you? Like, who are these people? Who are these people?
I was super scrawny and like really skinny, and
again, I think people just saw me.
I think people just saw me as an easy target, and I was always quiet and.
You didn't really fight back.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I think like people found me as an easy target, so I would always get picked on. And in 9th grade of high school, I was walking home from high school, and I was getting picked on by a football player, a senior. And I remember that day just being so frustrated because I couldn't stand up for myself, or I just didn't feel safe. And I was walking home, and at the end of that, I was walking by this gym's billboard, and I saw it, and I just decided to sign up so I could learn how to defend myself. And ever since then, I just fell in love with the sport. It gave me a lot of confidence, and I just felt like it was the sport for me.
Definitely the sport for scrawny people. I mean, Eric Morales, like there's tons of scrawny people in boxing that do well. Mathias, I know you had a storied amateur career. I know you fought like Duke Reagan, who's now an Olympic silver medalist. I think you were ranked, what, 6th in the nation, right?
For quite a while, I believe, ever since I did my first national tournament, which was the National Junior Olympics, and back in 2014 as a junior male. I placed 3rd there, so that placed me ranked, 3rd in the nation. At the time was 114 pounds, and then from there, yeah, I was always, top 5, top 10 in the U.S. Always, in every weight class I went. I started my amateur career at 106 pounds. I even competed in Ireland at 152 pounds. That's another story in itself.
We gotta hear that story.
It wasn't my choice, but I didn't go all the way to Ireland just to get a free medal. So yeah, I went up and weighed that tournament. But yeah, man, it was a great journey, fun journey, and now you're in the pros.
What's that transition like? Obviously from a long amateur career where you're going to other countries and stuff to now a pro, where often you're fighting regionally, you're fighting a different style often, rounds. Like, what's that like? What's that transition like?
Well, to be honest with you, the amateurs is harder than the pros. The amateurs, you show up, you weigh in, And whoever you're linked up in the bracket, whether it's the first day and you're the 10th in the nation and you get the #1 seed, or you're not even ranked at all and you get the top 5 seed, doesn't matter. You got to go in there. You got to fight your ass off. You got to make sure you do what you need to do to get the win.
Sometimes you guys even have to fight like the same day or the next day, right? In amateurs,
Yeah,
like one and then the next day, or like that's crazy to me. That's ridiculous. Like, how can you even recover?
Yeah. Let's just say you go to the national tournaments to get ranked or try to qualify to get on the Team USA. You go ahead and you fight 6 days in a row. It's as easy as this. You win, you weigh in the next day, and you continue fighting. Possibly you'll get a bye, but me, I was always in the stacked divisions. I never got a bye in any tournament. So I'd fight every day. And yeah, you have a possibility of fighting 6 days in a row, making weight 6 days in a row, fighting the best in the nation 6 days in a row. So yeah, the amateurs is
now I understand why we're having such a hard time getting you an opponent. I'm just kidding. I get it now. Everybody is scared.
They have looked up your resume and be like, oh wait, he fought this guy in amateurs?
They always bring up the amateurs. That's why we were talking about it, because people bring it up every time we try to get an opponent for you. They're like, did you see his amateur career? We're like, can you not? Can we put that away? Can we just,
I mean, they're generally the people in my weight division now. I either face them in the amateurs, or they know me or know of me, and vice versa. I know of them and they know me, or whichever way you want to put it. And yeah, I mean,
what year did you change from amateur to pro?
In 2018, I lived in Uruguay and I represented the Uruguay national team over there 5 times. And it didn't, I went over there to qualify for the Olympic team instead of coming here. Little things happened over here with me qualifying for the Olympic team. So, yeah, I decided to go over there. It didn't work out over there. So right before COVID, February 2020, February 29th, I had my debut on a bash card in Burbank. It was a great turnout. And, yeah, looking to do the same thing or even better September 11th.
Now, Jerry, your manager and trainer, Cliff, hinted at an interesting story of how you got into boxing. He didn't really tell me about it, but he hinted that you had an interesting sort of story in this sport and coming into the sport. What was he hinting at?
I didn't take the same route as these guys here. I actually went to college first. And so, I liked boxing as a kid. When I was young, my dad was like, no, you're not going to do it. So I completely forgot about it. But then, about, I would say that college age, I'm not going to lie, I started to get into some trouble. And a little too much partying, but I needed something to bring me back. And so at CSUN, they had the boxing club over there. And I remember they had a class. And then I was like, oh, man, this looks easy. And I played a lot of sports growing up. And so I thought I was in pretty good shape. And it was, and keep in mind, it's not even like what we do at Outlaw. It's just a class in itself. Didn't even last a round. One round, hit the bag. I was like, man, I'm so tired. And it was pretty tough. And that's what I like about boxing, is the challenge of it. And so where did I go first? Yeah, after I did the club a little bit, I went to another gym somewhere in North Hollywood. And I thought I just wanted to do one fight, maybe. One fight turned 10, 20. And then I was like, all right, yeah, maybe I want to go pro. And even before that, I was studying to be a physical therapist. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd choose boxing because it's more interesting. I like how it's different every day. And don't get me wrong, physical therapy is a great field, and you can actually make a lot of money. And even you help a lot of people, but there's just a different type of enjoyment I get from boxing. So I'd rather take that, we'll say, pay cut for a greater investment.
You talk about that enjoyment in boxing. That's sort of a question for all of you. What motivates you? Like obviously this is a sport where you get punched in the face. A profession, you get punched in the face for a living. There's tons of dangers behind it. And like you said, for a pay cut for most, paying jobs, I'm 5-9 jobs. So what's the motivation here? Jerry, start with you. What's that motivation? Why is it fun to you or exciting? And what's that thing?
It's just like you mentioned, a little bit of everything I like about it. There's moments of where there's fear, there's moments of excitement, there's moments of just a little bit of everything. To be honest, that's why I really about it. Also, I really love the challenge, and it's a very humbling sport as well, because you can be on a high horse and be like, man, I'm doing good. And then there's that one guy who comes in and just shows you something different. And that's even more motivation to get better than the next person, to be the best. And then ultimately, yes, I want that world title. That's my dream, and I'm pretty sure that's everybody else's dream. So long as that's my goal, that's why I wake up every day, work hard as I can.
Jesse, I mean, what motivates you?
I think what motivates me is family, the people who believe in me, leaving a big legacy behind, and doing things people never imagined were possible. Just either shutting people like his mouth about their opinions on me, what I can do, and the money, of course. Yeah, the world titles for sure.
Mathias.
Yeah, I mean, very similar to these two sitting next to me. I mean, of course, we're prize fighters. That's a motivation, of course. But you know, as Jay was saying, the enjoyment. You know, you're not going to be in a professional, job for say where you get punched in the face if you don't enjoy it. You know what I mean? You have to not just enjoy it. You have to love it. You know, no boxing, no life. That's a very, very, very true. By Canelo. Yeah, that's dope.
Sits right there. Yeah.
But yeah, family. You know, I want to leave my name in the history books, just like the greats before me. And yeah, just those things.
You know, you mentioned legacy and greats. Like, what's some inspirations for you? I mean, obviously, any boxer I feel like has watched tape on past legends or past fights or obviously contemporaries. What are some inspirations for you guys, Jerry?
Fighters I like to watch, I would say the main two I study a lot is Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. And Sugar Ray, I really love the style, love his footwork, I love his flair. And with Marvin, like that grit.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved how he switches in between styles. And he didn't back down from nobody. So combining those two together is what I really try to work on.
Mm-hmm. Jesse?
Fighters that I really look up to, the main two are Canelo. That's my favorite fighter. I just love his style of fighting.
Godnello. His name is Godnello.
Canelo. Yeah, Canelo is a beast. Like, he's well-rounded, very smart, very dedicated, and also love Miguel Cotto. I think that was the first fighter that got me inspired to start boxing.
Yeah.
I'm a student of the game. I don't have a specific favorite fighter. You ask me who my favorite fighter is, I'm going to tell you Mathias Radcliffe. But, you know, I go ahead and I'm a student of the game. So I study all different eras of boxing. Canelo's one of them of this era. Roberto Durant is probably one of the best inside fighters. And many people argue that he was probably one of the top 3 best in history lightweights, ever. So I mean, dude, yeah, Roberto Durant.
And you get mean in there too, like him. I sparring the other day, man. I saw that.
Yeah, killer in there. I know.
Some mean hooks.
But you said that you previously had went up to 152 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's gigantic for you, but okay. Do you ever plan on moving up in weight, or would you feel more comfortable at with the 130 or
eventually 135?
Oh, I mean,
what do we think?
There's no limits. There's no limits. If you look at Canelo, he moved up to 175, knocked out Kovalev. I don't think any fighter should put limits on what he can or what she can do. If the opportunity presents itself, and me and my team feel that it's right to move up, we will. But I feel comfortable right now at 130 pounds. I make it okay. I feel strong. I'm just I just feel good at 130. I feel like a natural 130 right now.
Jesse, I want to ask you a question about sort of your presence in the division. You're 15-0, 10 knockouts. I believe your first 1 or 2 events that you ever fought in were promoted by Bob Arum. Why are you such like an undiscovered gem in this division? It's a golden division. It's the money division. It's this and heavyweight, right? Like, these are the money divisions. Look at Virgil Ortiz or Jared Enos. Like, these are guys that have a lot of hype, a lot of push on them with similar records to you. Why do you think there's that disconnect in either the industry, the media, and looking at you as a potential contender in this division?
I think it's because of the way I've progressed. I think I've kind of progressed a little bit slower than these other guys you mentioned, and just the time that I feel has been right. I feel like we've been doing everything right. It's been a little bit slow and rough, but I think that's just the right timing for my career as far as how fast I've developed.
Yeah, I know Brandon mentioned, Brendan Krause, your coach, mentioned a elbow surgery that you had.
Yeah.
You know, have injuries been sort of a thing that has slowed down your career a little bit?
Yeah, injuries for sure. They've always been like, I've always had an injury I had to overcome in training camp or just during my career. But yeah, injuries have slowed things down for me. But I'm still pushing. I'm still going.
Perfect. Any questions? I think we're good. Guys, obviously, you're fighting on September 11th. Only 4 weeks away, it feels like. We're very close to getting you all opponents. Jerry, I think we have an opponent for you, talking to Cliff, obviously, about that. What's it feel like to come back after COVID, after a long layoff, surgery, and finally get back in the mix in boxing again? Mathias?
You know, I can't wait. Fighting the sold out area, it's amazing. You know, I have a great support system out here. Shout out to Team Radcliffe. You know, it's indescribable the amount of support I get out here. You know, I have so many people that come out and just show me love and support. You know, when I get my miles out here in you know, the valley or in Reseda in the area, you know, constantly people honking the horns at me, telling me, you know, let's go, champ, let's go, let's go. So, you know, it's just motivating, and I can't wait to get back in there. You guys don't want to miss this. September 11th, make sure you're in Simi Valley because you're going to see non-stop fireworks in action.
Jerry, any last thoughts?
Oh, yes. Super, super excited compared to, like, what's been going on with the pandemic and everything. So it's been great to be back. Fans, and once again, thank you to all those who support all of us, who support the gym, and you guys are going to be in for a really good show.
Jesse?
Yeah, I'm just excited to be back after a long layoff. I think I'm ready to just pick back up from where I left off, remind people what I'm about, and I know people are going to enjoy the Magic Show.
Absolutely, absolutely. This has been a collaboration of Mixed Combat Radio and the Beauty of Boxing, presented by Redboxing Promotions. I'm Matthew Hunter. This is Melodyjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.